This is a tornado warning.
Appreciate it, Gino. Yeah, the whole Weather Watch 12 team is on this right now. Molly Bernard with me currently in the studio. Gino out in News Tracker. And Lindsay monitoring these from home. She's not going to get much sleep tonight because, of course, she'll be on again tomorrow morning on 12 News this morning starting at 4:30. So she's been trying to update all the social media that she can to make sure that we're giving you as many ways as possible to get you the warnings. And so that's our main job here. Make sure that you're getting those warnings. You have the information, helps you do the right thing to keep you and your family safe as this is moving in. We'll take the lightning back off and we'll go kind of storm by storm with these, and we'll zoom you back in. And so we still have tornado warnings into Sheboygan County. That goes until 9:30. And that's from this system here. This is about ready to push into Elkhart Lake. Then we'll extend down there through where Gino just was into Kleiman. Some pretty darn heavy rain, and you saw that with his shot as well. And then the storms that are down to the south. It's kind of disorganized. It's not been, I thought we would actually see a very tight line through this whole thing. That has not been the case. It's been a little more disorganized, but that has not kept these storms from being really powerful, and that's still the case here as these storms are now moving out. These are cruising. These storms that were in northern Illinois, these have been more of a northward movement than we've had an eastern movement for the other storms. These storms are flying up to the north, probably about 55 to 60 miles per hour. So that's going to outrun that warning in no time. That's down into Walworth County. Still concerned that we're going to be dealing with lots of wind damage. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we will diminish this. The good thing that's happened, of course, the sun has been down now for about an hour. That helps because you start to lose some of the instability, certainly not all of it. We still have a long ways to go before we make it our way through this entire event. But we're still, if you're like, well, where's my storm in Waukesha? Where's my storm in Milwaukee? We still have some time. It's still coming. That's a look on the side there from Sheboygan in the area. It's really, the tornado warning is just north of the city of Sheboygan. It includes Plymouth. It includes Elkhart Lake. It includes Howard's Grove. So it's really the northern sections of Sheboygan County. You're underneath that warning right now. And then we have the additional warnings. It looks like a new warning also being issued, just a regular severe thunderstorm warning, this time into Waukesha County. I'm going to let Molly have the latest on that.
That's in effect now until 9:45. It's for 60-mile-per-hour winds, which is much lower than some of the 70 and 80-mile-per-hour warnings that we had earlier. Part of that is because we don't have that strong line that's pushing through. So that is some good news, but still, 60-mile-per-hour winds can do some damage. The sun is down, and the good news with that is we're losing a little bit of energy. So hail isn't a major concern in most of the cells right now. There's a lot of lightning. There's a lot of heavy rain, so you got to get inside. And wind gusts, at least in this new warning for portions of Jefferson and Waukesha counties, in effect until 9:45 for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Mark?
Appreciate that. Thanks for the update. If you can, Molly, if you could get a couple of storm tracks, or at least run a storm track on that as well. Maybe if you don't mind, a storm track on the, you know what, I'll run the storm track on the one that's happening up in Sheboygan County. So looking again, we're at Watertown right now. That's a live picture from our News Tracker 12. You can see the sheets of rain.
There is one new special marine warning.
Keeping he's safe. News Tracker 12 is big. He knows, he's looking at radar as he's going along. He knows a safe place to be. I don't recommend the rest of you hopping out in your car doing some storm chasing. Gino's done this for a while. He's going to be in a safe place, so I don't want you to worry about that. Let's head back full, and I do want to run a storm track on the storm that we still have the warning for, that is moving in through Sheboygan County. Before we even get to that, I want to get a look and see what's happening right now from Road America in Elkhart Lake. This is really just south of the city of Elkhart Lake. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of lightning. Maybe we've got a frozen camera, but there's not a whole lot happening there. We'll give it a few more seconds. Otherwise, we'll go from there, and we've got some other vantage points. We'll take you into Waukesha. These storms are about ready to move into the city. You're going to be seeing that. There'll be some lightning on this as well. This is from Carroll University. This is looking out to the west and waiting for that storm to start moving in towards you. And then we'll also head to Brookfield. This from our Landmark Credit Union camera. This is right along I-94. This is looking out to the southwest. That's 94. That's moving westbound. This is moving eastbound. You can see the storms there with a fair amount of lightning. And then we'll take you into Economowoc and show you the storm that's happening here. This is looking to the west from the top of the Bank 59 building. And again, wet roads, not seeing a huge amount of lightning. I'm hopeful that we're seeing a downward trend in things. That would be good for all of us. Hopefully that trend can continue. And let's go to downtown Milwaukee. We'll take you to the top of the U.S. Bank building. This would be a lot of way away, but you can actually still see the lightning strikes there. Temperatures have been amazing today. We were stuck in the fog. We were stuck. It was kind of cool for most of the day. And then the warm front finally arrived as our temperatures warmed up into the upper 70s.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Arkansas.
Close to 90 today. It did hit 90 degrees today in Janesville. So we kind of gave you a vantage point around southeastern Wisconsin. Let's take you to Sheboygan. This is in from the South Pier, which is what you're looking at right in here. This is from Blue Harbor Resort. Temperature 65 degrees in Sheboygan, which would help to kind of decrease the intensity of this storm as it works its way in. But that tornado warning does continue. There's still strong winds on this. A lot of this is moving a little more north than it is to the east. So, but still, I want you to be in your shelter if you're in Elkhart Lake, if you're in Plymouth. Once you're in the lowest level of your home, we'll see how much of that holds on as it makes its way to the east. There's also a little bit of a bowing structure here into those storms that's moving right now into Washington County. Heads up Kewaskum, that's pretty much on top of you. Campbellsport, same story there. Not far away from West Bend. Wouldn't be surprised if you get some strong winds. I haven't even mentioned the fact this is really, really heavy rain. There's going to be ponding on the roads. There could be some minor flooding here. That is certainly something that could be possible as we head throughout the next couple of hours. And you can see where we still have those storms. This is going to be swinging in through Waukesha County pretty quickly.
And Mark, I do have a track on that storm that's working its way into Waukesha County right now. It'll be in Ottawa here in just about 2 minutes at 9:20, Concord at 9:23, the Nemavin Lakes at about 9:25, 9:27, and it could be in downtown Waukesha about 9:25. Again, this is 65 mile per hour winds with this storm that's predominantly moving northeast coming in from Illinois. So moving pretty quickly at about 65 miles per hour as well.
Thank you, Molly. Appreciate that. And again, we're trying to get you out ahead of these storms, and these storms are moving so fast, it's sometimes hard to do that. We did have that warning that was Walworth County. That's gone. Why? Because the storm moved so quickly, it kind of outran its coverage. And so it's all the way into Waukesha County right now. I want to turn lightning back on because it's another good indicator on how we're doing on how strong these storms are. There's still a lot of lightning. I don't want you to go heading outside and checking things out until this lightning is all gone. And we still have more of these thunderstorms that are back out to the southwest. I'll be curious how much of this will still swing through. We could still have rain for the next 2 to 3 hours before this is totally moved out. But it should probably another hour and a half to 2 hours, and then things should be all said and done. But certainly a fair amount of lightning on this, and this whole line still has to progress its way to the east. We still have a lot of these thunderstorms to go, so we're not quite there just yet. We still have a bunch of warnings, and we'll talk about those individual warnings and try to get your bearings on what's happening right now of the different warnings that are out there. All right, the whole entire area, that's all in red. That's all of southeastern Wisconsin. That's a tornado watch. That was issued a long time ago when conditions were favorable for the formation of severe thunderstorms, including tornadoes. And we've had a lot of warnings. At this point, I have not heard of one confirmed tornado yet. That's good news. That doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. It doesn't mean we didn't get destruction. It doesn't mean we didn't get damage. But
it's that region in the area
I have not heard of any confirmed tornadoes. We still have the tornado warning into Sheboygan County. That goes until 9:30. You have another 9 minutes or so. Severe thunderstorm warning into Fond du Lac County.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Wisconsin.
Severe thunderstorm warning into southeastern Fond du Lac County, as well as into northern Washington County, extending into Dodge County. That goes until 9:45.
Mark, I do want to say, while you have that up, I don't know why it's not updating on our system, but the destructive severe thunderstorm warning has been able to cancel early, so that's no longer in effect.
That is great news, so appreciate it, Molly, because that was certainly a concern, because that was going to move in through all of Jefferson County. We don't get these very often, so maybe the system's trying to catch up. It's just a regular severe thunderstorm warning throughout Jefferson County, and then extending into the rest of Waukesha County, or a good chunk of Waukesha County. Again, that goes until 9:45. So still a lot going on. We still have the tornado warning that is happening there in Sheboygan County. But there's definitely, if you just look at radar, we're not seeing nearly as much, at least in our immediate area, of the darker reds, and that is really good news. Let's hope that this trend can continue. Notice we still have some action out to the west of us. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here into our area and talk about what's happening. There's still a big chunk of rain. I got a feeling we're going to see probably a good 1 to 2 inches of rain through Dodge County, extending into Fond du Lac County. Notice how this is all going to go over the same place. So into Fond du Lac, don't be surprised if we got a lot of ponding on the roads. You may
there is
have
one
some
new
minor
severe thunderstorm
here and there.
warning
That's
for
also
Wisconsin.
something I'll be watching. The good thing is, which hopefully works in our favor, is these storms are moving so fast right now that we're really not having to deal with it for too long. But if it hits those same areas again and again and again, we could have issues. But the southern end of this line is it's cooking up to the north really, really fast. It's going to move into the city of Waukesha momentarily. If it's not there already, it's not going to last very long. And it's going to continue to make its way up to the north, moving rapidly to the north at about 50 miles per hour. I want to see if Gino's available where he's at right now. He's out in News Tracker 12, and he's been kind of all over the place, especially in the northwestern sections of our viewing area. Gino, tell us where you're at now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting on to Highway 16, just exiting Watertown. When we were in Watertown, there was that cluster of thunderstorms that moved through, and the bridge on Main Street is out, so they have these construction barrier signs, and the winds were so strong that they were starting to almost knock them down, just to give you an idea with those rain shafts that were coming through town. Right now, we're kind of in between these two lines of storms. We got one to the north, one to the south. We're heading east on Highway 16 towards Economowalk, where that second line of thunderstorms is moving up to the northeast. So we're eventually going to be kind of sandwiched in between these two lines of thunderstorms. We're going to get another round of some strong winds, a little bit of some heavy rain. Looking down towards the east right now, we've got a couple little flashes of lightning. Let me actually see, we've got a little bit. So that's the timing of the severe weather. See all those flashes of lightning from that line of thunderstorms that's moving from pretty much Lake Mills through North Prairie, Sullivan, moving up to the north, eventually going to hit that I-94 corridor, and we're going to be in the path of that, where we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect at the moment, and it looks like that one goes until 9:45 for the risk of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Yeah, after this, I mean, south of that line mark, as you've been talking about, you go down towards Elkhorn, Delavan, there's really not much. Even down towards Racine and Kenosha counties, they have that tornado watch at the moment. But looking at the radar image that we're seeing right now, there is that possibility that they might be safe from this whole cluster, since this lower edge of that line of thunderstorms moving northward looks to be missing that area, Mark.
That is something Molly and I are watching pretty closely here in the studio. Don't have too much fun out there at News Tracker 12 there, Gino. We are still monitoring all these. There's actually a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued in our northern counties. I'm going to send it back over to Molly. She'll have the latest on that. Mark,
that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 10 o'clock. It's moving pretty quickly. The storm itself is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour, producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. And we've had some reports of some pretty strong wind gusts along this line. So Kewaskum, the leading edge of that storm, moving towards you right now. It'll be in Cascade at about 9:39, Elkhart Lake at about 9:40, Random Lake at about 9:41, and should be out over Lake Michigan by 10:15, Mark.
Thank you very much, Molly. So, yeah, still lots of warnings that are ongoing. So we're not out of the woods just yet. I want to stop this for just a second here, and we're going to show you some of the storm reports where we've had some of the stronger wind damage, especially around Dane County. Then might have been a little bit of hail here and there. Some reports of wind damage here extending into parts of Dodge County as well. One thing I'm noticing, I don't see anything that's got a little tornado on it at all. Even though we've had tornado warnings, they have all been radar indicated. I don't have any reports of any confirmed tornadoes. Great news. Doesn't mean that we don't have problems, that we won't have damage, and we won't have trees down, and we won't have power outages. That still is possible. But now these, I'll turn off the storm reports, and again, watch as these storms are just flying up to the north. This is only a 15-minute, this is a 1-minute update, and so this is 15 minutes. In 15 minutes time, we've gone from Whitewater to Johnson Creek. I don't think you can drive it that fast. So that tells you how fast that this is moving. It's about 70 miles per hour right now. That's how quickly these are moving. Sometimes that can translate all the way down to the surface, and that's something we'll be watching closely with that moving in. And so let's kind of reset and talk about all the different alerts that we have, all the different warnings that are happening, because we're not done yet. We still have this destructive on the screen, but this is not a destructive severe thunderstorm warning anymore, just a regular severe thunderstorm warning. That is certainly good news. Let's start with a tornado warning in Sheboygan County. Although looking at radar, I'm not seeing any kind of possibility of a tornado there.
And Mark, they are going to allow that to expire
that
at
will be allowed to
9:30.
expire. All right, let's get rid of those earlier and make life a little easier.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for
Sheboygan
Wisconsin.
County and Fond du Lac County. That goes until 10 o'clock. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning into parts of Washington County, Dodge County. That goes until 9:45. For a good chunk of Waukesha County, that goes until 9:45. That's the nearest in terms of being in the metro area. Then there's additional warnings that continue back out to the southwest of us. So it just seems to be ongoing more and more. The question will be is how much of that line out to the west of us will be able to hold much in the way of strength. And I just don't foresee it having that much because it's probably going to be running into areas that have been worked over a bit by what we've already had the convection, the thunderstorms that have already moved through. We're still going to keep a close eye on it, but that's what's going on here. It's possible that Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha gets missed entirely out of this. And I'll hear about that come later in email and social media. That doesn't mean that the rest of southeastern Wisconsin got missed. We covered the area from Fond du Lac to Kenosha, from Walworth County extending up to Sheboygan. And every single person that lives in here, I care about you. We're going to be on the air when we have destructive severe thunderstorm warnings and we have tornado warnings. That's our policy. We want to make sure that we're keeping you and your family safe during these whole events. And that's what's happening right now. And some of you are probably yelling at your screen, Mark, get off my screen. I understand. I do. But this is kind of what our duty is. It's not me just being here just to say, hey, look at me.
Went north of our location, and we kind of lost it in the and we decided to actually bail on that tornado as we saw another circulation coming up from the south from a different storm.
These tornadoes, Evan, they're roaring. I mean, their forward motion was northeast between 60 and some of them 75 miles per hour. How difficult is that to track?
Pretty difficult, especially when you take into account that we're also dealing with blinding rain and large hail. So that's why we didn't try and keep up with this tornado because it would just be too dangerous.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Was that the only one you caught today, or did you see other ones?
We got other ones. So we got the Red Oak one, and then we dropped south on a different storm, and we got a tornado near.
You're getting hit with some really heavy rain. There's still a bunch of lightning on this. Then the southern end of this is the part that's really getting kicked in pretty hard. This is where Gino is right now. He's probably in the midst of getting hit with some pretty heavy rain once again, but it's not going to last very long because that's going to continue to move very rapidly up to the north. Let's get a look at some of our cameras around.
Mark, can I jump in with
yeah,
the storm
absolutely,
track
Molly,
real
go ahead.
quick? So this is the northern edge of the storm. Also, as of 9:30, we no longer have the tornado warning in Fond du Lac County. That's now a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10 o'clock. But Barton will likely see some of the strongest winds with the middle of this storm at about 9:34. West Bend also at about 9:34. Fair Park Elementary School, West High School between 9:35 and 9:36. So these storms still moving at about 60, 65 miles per hour. That's good news. This line that I have on my screen right now is going to, it's predominantly moving northeast, and then like Mark's been talking about, this heavy rain that's pushing into Waukesha and probably quite a bit of lightning, that's lifting northeast. So we're going to see a lot of this push out of the area as we head through the next half hour, 45 minutes, but still some really gusty winds along that line. Mark.
Absolutely. So we still have a plethora of warnings that we're dealing with. We're not completely out of the woods as we've got this. I am still amazed at how fast these storms have been moving through. I did want to take a look around the area. Let's head to Oconomowoc. You're probably getting hit pretty hard right now with some heavy rain that's moving in. You can see it right now on the screen. You can actually see the camera bouncing around a bit on the top of the Bank 5-9 building. Let's also head to Waukesha. That will take you on the rooftop here at Carroll University. And you can see some of the lightning that continues to strike around the area, making for some pretty scenes. This is the fun way to do it, is just kind of have us take you through and show you these different areas. We'll also go to Elm Grove. This area, you're probably going to get missed by the storms. You're not getting missed by the wind. You can see things bouncing around quite a bit. We'll go from there, and not that far away, we'll take a nice shot there with the lightning here from Landmark Credit Union. 9:30 at night, it's 81 degrees. This might as well be a summer night. Now, it's not going to feel that way for much longer as things will be cooling down. Let's also go into Sheboygan. This is from our Blue Harbor camera. You're actually quiet at the moment. Pretty much dry pavement. Should be a different story, though, as we go to Road America and getting a live look. And you can see this is live, waiting to see. We're probably getting some rain pushing through. Not much, little bit of lightning there that's currently happening around Sheboygan County. Wouldn't be surprised if we've got some strong winds that are still going to be blowing through that area as well. Let's get back out to radar. And I also want to go back out to meteorologist Gino Recchia. He's in News Tracker 12. He's been as far north as Beaver Dam. Now where are you at, Gino?
Yeah, we're just outside of Oconomowoc. You're showing the Bank 5-9 building tower cam as well. And when we were driving on the highway, just getting off of it, there was a stretch that had a little bit of some construction cones. And because of this line of thunderstorms, it caused some of the traffic cones to kind of scatter across the road a little bit. So we had to kind of weaver between it. But right now, we're getting just to the south of this band of showers of thunderstorms that have lifted northward, so we're not under that heavy pouring rain as what we were dealing with just a few moments ago. Still seeing a little bit of some flashes of thunder and lightning. We're facing towards the east-southeast, so facing towards Delafield, towards Pewaukee, towards Sussex, and they're getting under some showers and thunderstorms right now in central Waukesha County. We're still under the severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45, but the worst of it, where we're exactly in at this moment, just south of Lac La Belle, the rain is starting to weaken just a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to drive through. But I can certainly tell you, Mark, since when we were up in Beaver Dam, working our way down south towards Watertown and now eastward towards Oconomowoc, we've been dealing with these on and off bands of showers and thunderstorms, heavy downpours, kind of rain shafts across the roads. Nathan's been doing a wonderful job driving through all this, some of this treacherous conditions, taking our time as we need to. But yeah, certainly it looks like at this moment it's a little bit calmer than what we were dealing with a little bit earlier this evening, Mark.
And it certainly is good news. Now, I want everybody to be watching out, though, with some of this heavy rain, especially into Dodge County, working your way into Fond du Lac County, as well as into western or northwestern sections of Washington County. So around Kewaskum right now and Campbellsport, it is pouring. Lomira, Theresa, all the way down to Watertown. Be ready for some ponding on the roads. We still have warnings on these cells that are out to the west, so we're not done. At this point, really a lot of the metro area looks like it may get missed entirely. I want to expand this. This still could swing all the way through, so I'm not certain we'll be all the way missed. The good thing is there are no tornado warnings left anywhere in southeastern Wisconsin. Hopefully that trend can continue, but
you were in this storm. You saw it happen. Bring me through it.
I just got home and put my bike in the garage, and I came in, and my sister texted me and said, "It's coming your way." My son texted me and said, "You're coming your way." I went upstairs. I went around praying in my house for my animals and myself and everybody, and I went downstairs. I got my cat. I went downstairs, and I went in a furnace room, and I was holding my cat for my whole life. I was shaking and everything and holding my cat, and I heard the train. The train, and the cat was scared to death and jumped out of my arms, and the train the sound of the train, and a tree and some debris came in the window next to the furnace room where I was at. It was just probably not even 2 minutes. That's how long it lasted.
I was going to ask you, it was a quick-moving storm. Now, relative to downtown, where do you live in the town?
I live on 5th Street, which is 1st Street is where downtown is. I live right next to a Casey's store.
Oh, okay. I saw the Casey's on the drone. So you were very close to the core of the storm as it went by. How close were you?
Oh, there's houses down all over Flatton next to me, all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
And my house, it got hurt. It got roof, some damage to the roof, the front porch, windows out, and the back garage had a hole in the roof, but nothing compared to the devastation all over town.
That's amazing. Valerie, who was in the house with you?
Just me and my dog and my cat.
And you guys made it out okay?
Well, I went down the basement. And with my cat, and my dog was too big to carry down the basement. And
did you find it?
When I came back up, it just was minutes. It was like 2 minutes. Not even that, maybe a minute. And I came upstairs, I heard and the siren did go off right when I was coming in the house before, after I got off the bicycle and stuff. And I came to my front door and looked out, and the trees were down. The neighbor's house were flattened.
Valerie, did you find your dog?
Yeah, my dog was just upstairs in the living room.
That's amazing.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Wisconsin.
Were you able to talk to your neighbors? Were you able to find them?
Oh, yeah, they're all over. They were all out walking and everything. Debris all over. The trees are down. Tops of trees. My trees are down. I mean, the tops of my trees are down, and people all over walking. And, there's several casualties, a neighbor across the highway.
And I'm looking we're watching the drone stuff right here. I can see what you went through. Are you in shock right now? Are you able to compute what happened?
Well, it's pretty devastating. You never think it's going to happen to you. And I've lived here 65 years old, and I've lived here all my life.
Wow. So tell me about your neighbors. Did everybody rush out and try to help to see if everybody was okay?
Oh, yeah, everybody's helping everybody.
And how close was the tornado to you? I'm looking at this. It would look like it was a narrow band, and when you end on it, it's right by that Casey store that you were talking about.
Yeah, I live right next to my garage is right next to the Casey store.
Holy cow. So where are you going to stay tonight?
Well, I can stay in my house. We don't have any electricity, but there's just windows broken out, which we boarded up, and I guess my porch brick is off there. There was a lot of brick off of there, too, but, my house is still standing, which many of my neighbors aren't. And we walked around town where the tornado went through, and it's just devastating, It's
unbelievable. I'm so sad to see this. I'm heartbroken to watch it with you. It's absolutely amazing. Did somebody check out your house to make sure it was structurally okay?
Well, they just came by and put an axe on it. I think they're looking for people. Neighbor across the highway was down in the basement trapped. They're looking for people, making sure that, people are okay or trying to get them out.
Wow.
Hey, we've had enough. And the rest of you are like, what are you talking about? We haven't had anything at all. Let's head into these areas. So Kristen's right here, Menominee Falls. Again, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning here. There are no warnings east of this. There are no warnings in Brookfield and Elm Grove, New Berlin, extending down to Muskego. There's no warnings in Ozaukee County. That doesn't mean you're still not seeing the lightning out there, and there's certainly going to be some heavy rain out of this as well as it makes it so it's moving unbelievably fast. These storms that were out ahead of the main line, they're cruising up to the north at about 55 to 60 miles per hour. So they've made their way all the way through. We're not done, as that new warning is kind of a good indication. That's the one that's here. And we still have warnings on these cells that are moving back into Dane County. So as much as I'd love to say we're completely done with all of this, we're not. We still have to get through this area here, and that has to go all the way through southeastern Wisconsin. So we've got to wait through all of that. Hopefully there aren't too many warnings that are on that. Hopefully it's just regular severe thunderstorm warnings. The good thing is, again, right now, there are no tornado warnings anywhere in our area. There are no destructive severe thunderstorm warnings in our area either. So let's get a look outside. We'll actually take you to the top of the U.S. Bank building looking out to the west. Temperatures have been pretty remarkable today because we've gone with 60s and even the upper 50s for a lot of the day. Southeasterly winds. We had fog, and then the warm front finally came in Milwaukee, making it up to 78 degrees. Let's go back out to Oconomowoc. Should be drying out there because everything is cruising up to the north so fast. Same kind of story there in Waukesha. You should be drying out at Carroll University. Working our way a little farther to the north, though, Road America, you're still in the midst of this same system that just doesn't want to go just yet. Lots of heavy rain around the area, and we'll go from there to our Blue Harbor Resort camera in Sheboygan. Still waiting for the rain in Sheboygan in the city. It's still coming. You will get that here eventually as it makes its way in. I want to take a look at where we still have some lightning around with these storms and see how that, because you can get a good indication of how strong these storms are. We still got a lot of lightning on these storms out to the west. And there's a lot of lightning with these storms that continue to move through Dodge County into Fond du Lac County, western Sheboygan County as well. And then extending still a bunch of lightning into Washington County. And then back down to the south, we're watching this. This line's still packing a pretty good punch in terms of lightning. There's a fair amount on there. I want to also see what kind of wind we're dealing with on that. Still looks like some pretty good winds even into those storms that are heading back into Dane County. That's a pretty good wind gust there working towards McFarland. They'll be heading into the capital city as well. There's the new warning. Now that warning just clips the western sections of Dodge County. So the same places that had it before, there's likely going to be some gusty winds yet again. This isn't good news for any crews that are trying to go out there and fix anything. So it may take you a little while before you're able to make it back in there. So from Columbus, really from Marshall, Columbus, all the way extending up to Fox Lake and Beaver Dam, you've got some thunderstorm action heading back into your area. So that warning, that newest warning, the one that's right in here, that goes until 10:15. And so this whole area here, concern is how much rain has been coming down. Let's get a look at if we have, Molly, do you know if we have rain totals that I can get off of this or the 24-hour totals? If not,
I can get them. Give me 1 second. And
I will absolutely give you more than just a second. You can take your time on that.
And I will say too, Mark, here in the next couple of minutes, you should start to see some of the warnings expire. They were able to cancel the one for Dodge and Jefferson County, and they're going to allow the warning for Dodge, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, and Washington to expire at 9:45.
Okay, so we'll see a lot of this, start fading off of the screen. So we'll be down to fewer warnings, which is good because we've had a lot of warnings tonight. You're not done yet, though. Dodge County, let's go. In Horicon, you're going to get slammed right over the marsh, extending into Mayville. I feel like I've mentioned to you guys a lot. All the way back down to Reesville, heavy rain there, extending through Juneau, through Lomira, all the way up through Theresa. those areas, you're getting hit at a pretty good clip right now with mainly just heavy rain. There's likely some gusty winds on this as well, and there's a whole bunch of lightning, but there's going to be a ton of rain. Now, the good thing is, again, this whole line is moving pretty quickly. We'll stop this for you, and then we can probably get a better idea of where we have those warnings. I'll take you back down. We'll go warning by warning once again, because the whole area, we're still under that tornado watch. That's what you see here. But there's only, it's kind of nice because we kind of taken all the rest of it off. We just have a few warnings left of severe thunderstorm warning into Fond du Lac County and Sheboygan County. That goes until 10 o'clock. And then the new one that was issued into parts of Dodge County, that goes until 10:15. And those are just severe thunderstorm warnings and just regular severe thunderstorm warnings. We've had a lot of colors on the screen tonight, depending on whether we're looking at a velocity product, which is looking inside the storm, kind of telling you what the winds are doing. And it kind of gives you an idea how strong those winds are. And we've certainly had a fair amount of that. We'll go back out to radar and look at where we still got a fair amount of lightning.
Mark,
still
I do have rainfall.
Go ahead, Molly.
I do have rainfall totals now. Not too impressive as you would expect across our eastern counties, but the one number that is really catching my eye is Fond du Lac. That's not radar estimated. It's from the airport, and they've had over an inch of rain in the past 24 hours. So some very, very heavy rain. Beaver Dam's reporting just under half an inch, right. And I anticipate once we start to get some ground reports.
Probably wondering, well, hey, my house hasn't had any rain at all. Why are you on my screen? Because it's our job to make sure that we're keeping you safe, no matter if you live in Fond du Lac County, in Jefferson County, in Walworth County, in Kenosha County, in Milwaukee County, to Sheboygan County, and every county in between. That's what we do here at Weather Watch 12. And I'd love to say that, man, we're doing just fine. We're done. But we're not. That's a pretty powerful storm that's pushing its way back into Dane County. So just what do you think? Things could quiet down. It's not done just yet. We still have these warnings here and really heavy rain on those storms that are moving through. If you're hoping for some rain tonight, I wouldn't give up just yet into Racine County and Kenosha County and Milwaukee County, where you've been missed so far. Again, those are only the warnings that are left, though. Sheboygan County, eastern Fond du Lac County, and extreme western sections of Dodge County. So that certainly is good news. But we still have a ton of lightning on this. We're still under the tornado watch. That goes until midnight. I'll be curious to see if the Weather Service keeps holding that on or if we end that a little bit early.
Mark, they are already talking about potentially canceling some of the counties, especially farther west. And then we did get an update to power outages. Our graphic looks a little more like what We Energies is reporting right now. About 600 without power in Fond du Lac County, 800 in Dodge County, 7 in Jefferson, 5 in Walworth. What's really sticking out to me is Waukesha County, about 2,000 without power right now. And again, the reports tend to lag what we see reported to We Energies. It's going to take some time, so I anticipate these numbers will continue to go up over the next few hours.
Oh, I'm certain you're correct about that, and I'm sorry if you've lost power. I know We Energies, they've been kind of pooling resources throughout the day to make sure they can get out there as soon as possible. But a lot of times, I mean, these guys and gals can't get out there in the midst of this. You can't go out in the middle of a thunderstorm because it's dangerous. So they have to wait for this to clear and this to clear. And so you got to have some patience. Hopefully they'll get out there soon. Hopefully these really warm temperatures that some of you are still experiencing, it feels like the middle of summer right now for some of you. It's 78 degrees. The warm front made it through. It's 85 degrees in Kenosha. I mean, that's hard to believe for this time of year, middle of May at 9:49 at night, 81 degrees in Burlington. One of the other things, these storms that they're still feeding on, because the cold front hasn't come through just yet. We're also waiting on the cold front to come through, because then things will come to an end. We still have all this moisture pooling in here. Dew points in the 60s and the 70s. So there's still enough to play with in terms of this energy source, this moisture source that these storms are really enjoying. And so we're not done. So we still have to get that last bit of the line to go through, and then we'll start to quiet things down around our area. I want to take a look at those wind gusts, because whether that's in the gusts themselves or just because of the storms, we still have very strong winds no matter where you are around southeastern Wisconsin. 38 miles per hour right now in Beaver Dam, 32 mile per hour wind gust in Fond du Lac, 34 mile per hour wind gust in Economowoc, 36 currently in Johnson Creek, still gusting anywhere from 15 to 25 to 35 to 40 miles per hour. Most of this is just regular gusts. Some of it, though, is being induced and helped along by the thunderstorms that are still moving. These thunderstorms are moving fast to the north. This whole line, it's still showing some gusto. There's still lightning on it. There's still warnings on it. We're not done. And so this area still has to push through the rest of southeastern Wisconsin. So it's been a long evening for many of us. We still have to make it through this. I can't wait to talk about tomorrow and how quiet it's going to be. But in the meantime, we're not quiet yet. We have to get the cold front to come through. That has not happened clearly. Very heavy rain and a lot of lightning in Madison right now. I'm going to turn the lightning back off and see where we've got some of the stronger cells. And again, I was hopeful that we were going to see a weakening trend on this, but some of these areas, you haven't had anything happen just yet, so you could still see.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Arkansas.
Especially down into Walworth County. Could extend into the metro area because we still have this moisture pool that's waiting, and it's still very, very warm down here with temperatures into the 80s. Unusual for this time of year. Now, a lot of times we get tonight and it starts to quiet down a little bit more. That has not been the case so far just yet. We still have these strong thunderstorms that are moving through. We still have this really heavy rain. The good thing is those areas in Dodge County that were getting the heavy rain, a lot of that is moving out, but you're still going to have another round here of moving through. We still have a couple of warnings to talk about. We have the one severe thunderstorm warning that's in Sheboygan County. This really has been the western sections of Sheboygan County that have had the stronger cells, and then the eastern sections of Fond du Lac County. From Campbellsport up to Greenbush, maybe over to Mount Calvary and Taycheetah, you've had some of the heavier rain there and some stronger wind gusts as well. And then also some heavier rain and the possibility of some stronger winds into parts of Dodge County as well. That goes until 10:15, that severe thunderstorm warning. All right, we're at 9:53 right now. We're going to take you all the way up through 10 o'clock. And then, of course, we're going to start 10 o'clock, 12 news at 10 o'clock. But I want to throw it back over to Molly. Any kind of new storm reports, anything else that's happening around the area?
No new storm reports, but I do have an update to power outages because the numbers are continuing to go up. Notice Waukesha County here about 15, 20 minutes ago. Reports were closer to 2,000. Now reports are closer to 4,000. The other thing that I'm watching is the orange shading in Dane County. That is just west of Jefferson County. That indicates about 25,000 or more customers are without power, and that's where there were some very, very strong winds. We're still watching a cell in that area that'll work its way into southeastern Wisconsin that has heavy winds as well. But power outage numbers are continuing to go up, and we'll likely continue to see these numbers rise as we head through the next few hours as more reports come in. Mark.
Thank you, Molly. Appreciate it. I want to head back out to Gino Recchia. He's been in News Tracker 12. He's been all over the place. He was sitting on Beaver Dam Lake for a while when that first squall line came in, and then he's been making his way through the rest of the area. Gino, tell us what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, so we're just north of downtown Economowoc, and we're facing towards Fowler Lake, and we'll switch over to the roof camera. And there's been a couple little flashes of lightning, but this line of thunderstorms, the closest one that's near us, is pretty much almost moving up towards Fond du Lac County. These are rapidly moving up to the north, and at the moment, for the majority, it's kind of calm and quiet. Let me tilt the camera around, there's actually a flagpole, and we'll zoom into it, and you can see there's a little bit of flashes of lightning out in the distance, but the flag itself is kind of calm. I'm looking back at the weather station that we have on the roof of our vehicle, and we've got about 7-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming in here, so it's not terribly strong. There was, I will tell you though, a chair that was blown on the road on the main street because of the initial line that came in here earlier in the about the last half hour ago. So at the moment, it's kind of calm, quiet. I haven't seen any tree limbs down, any power outages in this area specifically in Economwalk. Looking across the lake area, looking like a lot of homes still have some power, but clearly, as Molly has been talking about, other locations are not as lucky this evening.
No, absolutely, Gino. Appreciate your great work as you've been out there. I'm sure we're going to see you again during 12 News at 10 o'clock. We still have the
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Texas.
Into parts of Dodge County. We also have really heavy rain. We've got a lot of lightning up to the north, and then we still have a lot of lightning along this whole line here. We are not finished just yet, and I know some of you haven't had any rain at all, especially in Milwaukee and areas down to the south. This whole line will likely still make its way all the way through southeastern Wisconsin as it makes its way to the east, northeast at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. We'll also see if we fill in any additional showers and thunderstorms along that line. That certainly is still possible, but I would love to say we're all quiet. Everything's done. It's not. I know if you've been in Milwaukee, you're like, what have you been talking about all night? Nothing's happened here. We're really warm. Temperatures have been in the 80s. And so that's thankfully, that is not going to continue. For those that have lost power, and many of you have, we're going to be talking about that more on 12 News at 10 o'clock. And I know many of you want to know, where are my shows? Why are you still on the TV, Mark? Well, let's talk about that. The Good Doctor at 12:05 on Thursday morning. Again, I know this was the series finale, and there's many of you that probably been calling the newsroom. You've probably sent me some nasty emails and some social media fun. But here's the thing. You can check out the whole thing. Good Doctor, 12:05 a.m. Thursday morning, followed by The Rookie in its entirety. You'll be able to see the whole thing, because I know we've taken away your whole entire evening here at Channel 12, but we appreciate you hanging with us, and so don't worry. You are still going to be able to see your shows in their entirety for Thursday morning, 12:05 a.m. Again, that will be followed by The Rookie, so you'll see everything. Let's get a look again
there is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Illinois.
Because we're not finished just yet. We've got all this thunderstorm action to the west. We still have this to the north. Let's bring you back in. We're going to start you in our northern counties. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning that is almost done in Sheboygan County. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning. Also some purples. We haven't had a lot of that, possibly a little bit of hail in here. There have not been many reports of hail tonight. There's been way more reports of a lot of wind and some wind damage. So everything is moving up to the northeast right now in these cells. We also have this cell here that in. This is working its way now into thunderstorm warning for Wisconsin. That's not severe. This still is a severe thunderstorm warning that continues again into Sheboygan County. And then looking back out to the west, there's still a whole bunch of thunderstorms.
The threat is far from over. We've got a couple of days of this stuff. All right, I'm Bob Van Dillen. Welcome back, everybody, to Fox Weather. And we are on high alert again. We've got the severe thunderstorms that are now rolling through Wisconsin at this point. You can see it's near Milwaukee itself. Madison, for another round, you're getting belted with a severe thunderstorm warned storm that's right overhead. We've got reports of power outages in Madison, reports of power outages also up there in Green Bay with that severe thunderstorm line as it raced down. Down to the south of here, you got more thunderstorms that are out there across northern parts of Illinois. And we're not done yet. Let me show you all the warnings that we have. We've got 6 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. The good news is I don't see any tornado warnings right here, but the region still under a tornado watch. Northern Arkansas till 3 a.m. this morning. Some of these areas in Wisconsin, tornado watch until midnight tonight. So let's get right to it. Let me show you what we're watching on the radar picture, because it is pretty active still, and we're getting close to 11 o'clock Eastern time. We're just past it, and we're at 10 o'clock Central time. You can see the big thunderstorms.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for
Wisconsin, starting to
Oklahoma.
stretch out, starting to segment itself off, which is good news, and it's about to get into Lake Michigan itself. Well, hopefully, the cooler air over the water may begin to slow this thing down just a bit, but we're still going to get the powerful storms on the other side of the lake, namely northern Michigan and the UP. So we're still watching this region too. Zero into the area because Green Bay, we've got multiple reports of power outages and some damage reports due to winds. You can see 56-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That was from the National Weather Service reported in Green Bay. You can see also we have multiple reports of wires down, reports of trees on roofs as well, multiple reports of trees and power lines down across the city of Green Bay. So Green Bay, Wisconsin took a direct hit with the severe thunderstorm line as it raced by. Remember, those thunderstorms were pegged with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that is destructive in nature. Down to the south, Madison, Wisconsin is getting hit for a third time with severe thunderstorm warnings. This one is tagged with 60-mile-per-hour winds and the possibility of 1-inch size hail. Good news is the tornado threat has ebbed just a bit, but now we're watching for at least 25% of the region right there in Madison without power, and that's obvious when you see winds of gusting 60, 70 miles per hour in multiple rounds. Here's where it goes right now. You can see Shorewood Hills, reports of trees and power lines down across Dane County. Belleville, look at this one, 74-mile-per-hour wind gust estimated by the radar. That was south of Madison itself. 74-mile-per-hour winds is just a hair underneath hurricane strength. And that was not a tornado. That was the gusty outflow of the thunderstorms as they've been racing through. And remember, these storms started out earlier today right across Nebraska and Iowa, and now they're zipping in to Michigan. So these things have been flying between 60 and 75 miles per hour. They've been jetting up to the north and to the east. Not the only warned storms. We have one that's across northern sections of Illinois. You can see it right there. That yellow box is a severe thunderstorm warning. And then you get down south, you can see that one line that raced through outside of St. Louis is no longer severe, but this one's been interesting north of Little Rock. We've been following this one. It's only moving to the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, so it's not moving very quickly, but it has this crazy thing we've been watching. It's that arc. It's that little notch that we've been following. It's not just one. There's actually two near Searcy. So if you are in this region, the severe thunderstorm warning is right there. There may be the possibility of dropping a tornado, and there would be two spots of rotation that we're following. One is right there. Another one is right there. Now, they're not touching, but you can see what we're watching. You can see a low-end rotation threat, but that is a broad circulation. Is it a third? Yeah, look at this right there. Sam just pointed this one out, too. She's driving a radar for me by Greenbrier. A third area of rotation is a possibility. That's north of Conway. So if you're familiar with this area, this is all hilly. I mean, you're talking about the Ozarks right here, north of I-40, getting down into that region by Little Rock. You guys are in the clear for now, but that one thunderstorm has had legs. It's held itself together for the last hour and 15 minutes. It did have a tornado warning to it. Now it's a severe thunderstorm warning with 60-mile-per-hour winds and the possibility of a brief tornado, something we'll be following for the next few minutes as well. Back to the west a bit farther. This is outside of Fort Smith. You can see where we're watching right there. That is a severe thunderstorm warned storm for Steigler. That is a 1-inch size hail. 60-mile-per-hour winds are a possibility out of this also. You look at the velocity, yeah, there's still some broad circulation. And I say that because when you see the reds and the greens next to each other, if they're tight, if they're touching each other, that's a tornado or a very similar situation. Like it could be a tornado at any moment. I just see a broad circulation with that, which is good news. But severe stats right now, 7 total warnings. We're looking at severe thunderstorm warnings, 7 of them. No tornado warnings right now. No flash flood warnings either. But you can see the numbers are starting to come down. Population under warnings, less than 1 million. Before it topped out a couple hours ago for us, our show, 2.4 million to 2.9 million people were underneath warnings. But we still have the population, when you talk about the tornado watch, of about almost 19.5 million people with underneath a tornado watch for the evening. All right, let's take a look at this. Some of this insane video. It keeps on coming in. This video is at Greenfield, Iowa. It's a tornado that destroyed all the homes before it got there. You can see as it goes over the road right there, multiple vortex tornado. Here it is. Let's just watch it as it crosses over the road. Storm chasers got very close to this. When I say multiple vortex, it means you can see multiple funnels running around it. Multiple condensation funnels. There it is. And look how close it got to the house. And then to the left, it did take a house up. Look how high the debris was lofted in the air. You can see what it looks like. There's another one that's dancing around the center of circulation. That's one. That's the main one. And you see another one that's going to form behind it and run right through it. Those are the individual suction vortices. You can see two of them right there as they pop up. Those are the areas of the extreme destruction when you have a major tornado like this on the ground. It's those individual ones that looks like a man running around and kicking stuff. I mean, that is where you see the most damaging stuff coming on when you talk about reports. Look at this. We've got trees that are snapped halfway up. You've got grain silos that are bent, and you can see the destruction of some of the houses that were off to the west. And it's just amazing video. It's heart-stopping. But if you want to see the worst video, this is it right here. I hate even seeing it, but this is the heartbreaking video from the drone that was shot just a little bit after that tornado that you just saw roared through Greenfield, Iowa. This was earlier this afternoon. Look at the trail of destruction on by. It looks like it just sucked some of that stuff up and just left a bare spot right there on the ground. Some of these tornadoes are so strong they can actually lift up some of the asphalt. I'm not seeing that right here, but I am seeing damage to cars. We're looking at cars that are all windows broken out. Look at this house underneath as we fly over it. It just looks like the roof and the top part of the house taken off. You see some debris scattered around here. It just picks up somebody's house and throws it at another one, picks up another one and flips it. And you can see more destruction right there. We're taking over the heart of it. There's a basement on your left. People did survive this by going into their basements, which was good. But we are getting reports of multiple fatalities. We don't know how many, but the police are reporting that. Multiple fatalities. Also, the hospital in Greenfield was damaged, so they're not taking anybody in. There's a curfew until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning as well. There's no power, obviously. It's dark right now. But this is a scene that happened right before sunset when that tornado went by. People walking around. And there's other video, too. We see people that are digging through debris, trying to save people, like right here. Look below. You can see people desperately trying to rip stuff up so they can find somebody if they're trapped in there. Here's that video we were talking about. It looks like all the people from the community coming out racing to help their friends. Just amazing video. This is a scene that we see all the time in the Midwest. People coming in and trying to help their neighbors right off the bat. More video. Here we are. You can see some of the houses just barely touched, right? And then you see the ones that are just gotten demolished. That one has interior rooms that are okay. That's where you always have to go, interior room. You can see why. The trick is to survive something like this, to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And it's because those outer walls go first, right? And then hopefully the tornado roars by before it takes out the inner ones. But this tornado, we're talking to a survivor there, Valerie. She said it only lasted for about 1 to 2 minutes. These things were flying. This thing went through there at about 70 miles per hour. That's how fast the storm was moving forward speed. Not wind speed, forward speed. We don't know how strong the winds were yet, but they are going to definitely put out a few people out there now watching the new video, too. Let's get a new video. We've got new video coming in. Yeah, there's the wind farm. These things, I was looking at them online, $2 to $4 million each, depending on, what kind it is. But just one toppled right here, that's $2 to $4 million down. It's on fire, drifting the smoke, and there's another one right next to it. So you're talking multi-million dollars worth of damage with one tornado. That is just, it's amazing to see. So that's new video also. We saw that coming in earlier this afternoon. All right, let's get to the flooding, too. We've got that as an issue. We've got heavy rain. It's going to be a big-time problem, not just around the Midwest, but it's going to be falling right through from Nebraska down to Oklahoma. This is Omaha, Nebraska earlier today. Some of these thunderstorms dropped about 3 to 4 inches of rain. So we had flood warnings for here, and it came down very quickly. Look at that. Obviously, that is just, I mean, you talk about drainage going into your front yard. There it is. You're talking a couple of feet of water sitting in your front yard after one single storm went blowing by, dropped 2 to 3 inches worth of rain. Some of these areas, 3 to 4 inches is what we had. So we had flash flood warnings that were out there for parts of Nebraska. So where's the line right now? Let me take you back, show you where it goes, because it initially started out earlier this afternoon. We had one big line that developed across Iowa. They supercelled off. So you had one supercell below another one, all rotating up into the main circulation that was across northern sections of Minnesota. Now it's beginning to squall line out because all the energy is racing so quickly. The main forcing is still back to the west a little bit farther. That being said, we still have the potential for seeing some tornadoes down across northern parts of Arkansas, maybe around Wisconsin, lower parts of Wisconsin, northern Iowa, too. You guys are in a tornado watch till about midnight tonight. But check out all the heavy rain that we've seen so far. This area right here over the last 6 hours now, Minneapolis into St. Paul and south of I-94, it's 3 to 5 inches of rain. So you've got the flooding concerns right there. That's the Mississippi River. Everything's draining into that as we speak. La Crosse, Wisconsin, very heavy rainfall also. Radar estimates right there, the darker shade of green, it's about 1 to 2 inches of rain. And remember, this fell in a very short period of time. It was that one thunderstorm complex that went over. But some of these areas have been getting belted a couple of times, namely Madison, Wisconsin, the state capital. You've had 3 at least severe thunderstorm warnings in the last 3 hours. Every one of them dropping a lot of rain, a lot of wind too, so power outages are out there. As for overnight tonight through tomorrow, the main flooding concerns are still going to be right across central parts of Wisconsin. That's going to take into account all the rain that we're seeing now and the possibility of some showers developing northern part of the state, but that's not till later on tomorrow. The actual upper level low is going to be up to the north. The very heavy rainfall over the next couple of days is going to start migrating and shifting down to the south as the energy comes up out of the south and west. That includes major cities, Dallas, Waco, Texarkana, maybe getting into south of Oklahoma City, but then stretching right through Arkansas into Louisville and areas by West Virginia, ultimately the Ohio Valley. So these areas here, 2 to 3 inches of rain. So with this in mind, Wednesday afternoon through early Thursday morning, it's a level 2 out of 4 flood threat for you. That's Dallas, Fort Smith, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Memphis, into Paducah, Kentucky also. And then on Thursday, everything begins to slide over to the south and kind of stays in the same spots by Dallas and Texarkana. But that's a lot of heavy rain. It's a possibility coming in Thursday morning into early Friday. So we've got the next 3 days to watch for very heavy rain coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, mixing it up with the cold front of boundary that's going to be in play. Showers, thunderstorms, these are all going to be heavy. The downpours will be out there as well. And you can see we're watching for Texarkana. Your forecasted highs, they're going to be on the cool side just because the rain cooled, but there's going to be a lot of rain and a possibility of severe weather in the air as well. We are on Fox Weather Alert right now as multiple storms race across the Midwest. They're getting pounded again. You can see the video right here from Greenfield, Iowa. Multiple reports of fatalities out of this storm alone. We're tracking it all coming up right after the break.
There is a storm coming, an event like the world has never seen before. The emerging event will have little to do with weather, but more about developing situations that were foreseen many years ago. We have always warned you during severe weather and news events that affected many. Now, Channel 1 Atlanta begins a new series to warn you about what's coming soon and make sure you are prepared. Join us on a new journey, as according to a recent survey, a lot of people believe we are living in the last days. Current news events show us now more than ever. In history, time is setting the stage for the coming storm. A new series, now playing only on Channel 1 Atlanta.
Again, a confirmed tornado on the ground in downtown Conyers. It's a very dangerous and life-threatening weather event. Get into the interior section of your house, away from windows or a basement if you have. And there's the debris right there in the Millstead area near the Rockdale Medical Center. Right. Channel 1 Atlanta.
64 degrees. Obviously, your rain cooled and the sun is set. So let me show you the deal for you right now across Wisconsin. We still have some severe thunderstorm warnings. No active tornado warnings, although the entire region under a tornado watch until midnight. You can see the way it goes. We've got that one squall line about ready to race right across northern sections of Lake Michigan. And you've got the other one that's near Milwaukee. That's out to the west. You can see right there, right by I-39. So that's Madison again. You guys have gotten wrecked over the last couple of hours with round after round of very heavy rain. Look how much has fallen so far. You can see that darker shade right there. We start seeing the oranges pop up. That's 3 to 5 inches of rain, Doppler radar indicated. So you've seen round after round, and the rain has piled up behind it. So that's what we're watching right here. 3.8 right there, inches of rain. That's north of Madison. And again, we've got some pockets of power outages across the state capital around that region. Now, we've had wind gusts, too. Some of these are pretty good. And we have a 74-mile-per-hour wind gust. We've got Maple Bluff. That's brand new. 62-mile-per-hour gust. Yeah, it was Belleville right there. 74-mile-per-hour wind gust. That was Doppler radar indicated as that squall line blew past you just about an hour ago. Middleton, 59-mile-per-hour wind. That is also considered to be severe. So where are all the power outages? We've got 66.9 thousand customers without power right now across Wisconsin, and that includes a good chunk of the middle part of the state. So that's a squall line as it raced through, took down the power. It's going to take some time to get that back up, clearly. So that's the power outage tracker right there for Wisconsin itself. Now, the radar picture has been pretty active. We still have 8 total warnings. None of these are tornado warnings. You can see how we break them down. Severe thunderstorm warning, 8. We've got 0 tornado warnings, 0 flash flood warnings. And you can see the population under a warning has been cut in half. So almost 400,000 people under a warning. They're all severe thunderstorm warnings at this point. And we're watching for the winds to howl at about 60 to even 70 miles per hour. There's a radar picture in detail. A lot of lightning out of this as well. Lightning does not make a storm severe. It's the wind gusts, the hail makers, or the possibility of a funnel cloud or tornado that makes it severe. Cersei, this thing has had legs. It's still a severe thunderstorm warned storm. 60-mile-per-hour winds, and notice they have not let that tornado possible threat drop. And the reason why is because there's several areas of circulation within the supercell itself that has a possibility of being in a tornado area. You're talking about that one, this one, and we even popped one up. There was south of or west of that region too. So they're broad circulation areas. Looks like this one's beginning to loosen up just a bit. This is outside of the warned box, but that still is a possibility of some rotation. So it's that green next to red. Broad circulation at this point, and it looks like it's just the whole thing may be rotating, but it's not rotating at the surface at this point. We're not watching for a tornado-warned storm at this point, even though the tail end of that looks pretty interesting. Then you get back off to the west, and you can see south of I-40. Now we're in the Oklahoma side. You can see southwest of Fort Smith, Arkansas, into Oklahoma. One severe thunderstorm warning right there, and that's that region that's going to be hopping over the state line shortly. More rain near Hot Springs, and that's going to get into Little Rock as well. So something we'll be watching over the next several hours. All right, Iowa State Patrol is confirming multiple fatalities and several injuries in that tornado that struck Greenfield, Iowa. Earlier, we spoke with one of the survivors, Valerie Warrior. She was riding her bike back home when that storm came in. Listen. Valerie, I mean, you were in this storm. You saw it happen. Bring me through it.
I just got home and put my bike in the garage, and I came in, and my sister texted me and said, "It's coming your way." My son texted me and said, "You're coming your way." I went upstairs. I went around praying in my house for my animals and myself and everybody, and I went downstairs. I got my cat. I went downstairs, and I went in a furnace room, and I was holding my cat for my whole life. I was shaking and everything and holding my cat, and I heard the train. The train, and the cat was scared to death and jumped out of my arms, and the train come, the sound of the train, and a tree and some debris came in the window next to the furnace room where I was at. It was just probably not even 2 minutes. That's how long it lasted.
I was going to ask you, it was a quick-moving storm. Now, relative to downtown, where do you live in the town?
I live on 5th Street, which is 1st Street is where downtown is. I live right next to a Casey's store.
Oh, okay. I saw the Casey's on the drone. So you were very close to the core of the storm as it went by. How close were you?
Oh, there's houses down all over Flatton next to me, all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
And my house, it got hurt. It got roof, some damage to the roof, the front porch, windows out, and the back garage had a hole in the roof, but nothing compared to the devastation all over town.
That's amazing. Valerie, who was in the house with you?
Just me and my dog and my cat.
And you guys made it out okay?
Well, I went down the basement. And with my cat, and my dog was too big to carry down the basement. And
did you find it?
When I came back up, it just was minutes. It was like 2 minutes. Not even that, maybe a minute. And I came upstairs, I heard and the siren did go off right when I was coming in the house before, after I got off the bicycle and stuff. And I came to my front door and looked out, and the trees were down. The neighbor's house were flattened.
Valerie, did you find your dog?
Yeah, my dog was just upstairs in the living room.
That's amazing. So, all right, so the tornado's gone. You walk outside. Were you able to talk to your neighbors? Were you able to find them?
Oh, yeah, they're all over. They were all out walking and everything. Debris all over. The trees are down. Tops of trees. My trees are down. I mean, the tops of my trees are down, and people all over walking. And, there's several casualties, a neighbor across the highway.
And I'm looking we're watching the drone stuff right here. I can see what you went through. Are you in shock right now? Have you able to compute what happened?
Well, it's pretty devastating. You never think it's going to happen to you. And I've lived here 65 years old, and I've lived here all my life.
Wow. So tell me about your neighbors. Did everybody rush out and try to help to see if everybody was okay?
Oh, yeah, everybody's helping everybody.
And how close was the tornado to you? I'm looking at this. It would look like it was a narrow band, and when you end on it, it's right by that Casey's store that you were talking about.
Yeah, I live right next to my garage is right next to the Casey's store.
Holy cow. So where are you going to stay tonight?
Well, I can stay in my house. We don't have any electricity, but there's just windows broken out, which we boarded up, and I guess my porch brick is off there. There was a lot of brick off of there, too, but, my house is still standing, which many of my neighbors aren't. And we walked around town where the tornado went through, and it's just devastating, It's
unbelievable. I'm so sad to see this. I'm heartbroken to watch it with you. It's absolutely amazing. Did somebody check out your house and make sure it was structurally okay?
Well, they just came by and put an axe on it. I think they're looking for people. Neighbor across the highway was down in the basement trapped. They're looking for people, making sure that, people are okay or trying to get them out.
Wow. It's just amazing. So it's dark right now. Sunup comes up tomorrow. What are you going to do?
Well, I have friends coming that are going to help me, and some people showed up that I didn't even know to cover windows and put boards and plastic on windows, and a couple guys showed up and took out my front door because it was a mess.
That's amazing. So have you seen anybody like the Red Cross? And what help is out there right now? There's the Casey's, by the way. You can see it on the screen.
Yeah. Well, it's all dark. The whole town doesn't have electricity, so right now it's all dark.
It's amazing.
And there was emergencies out, everything all over town, and there's just a few blocks away. We can't even get down there.
Holy cow. And you said you lived there your entire life.
Yeah.
Valerie Warrior, we're so happy that you're safe. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us. I know it's just a harrowing experience. We'd like to check in with you again just to see how you're doing, and we will. We'll try to catch up with you again shortly. But best of luck to you. Our prayers are with you for sure. Thanks for joining us tonight, Valerie.
Thank you so much.
All right, we saw the severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. There's the video again, the drone footage from Greenfield, Iowa. Just an obliterated house right here. We've got neighbors helping neighbors, trying to find anybody who's alive down there. We're tracking out the storms for the rest of the day. What happens the next few days? So when we come back, we are on a Fox Weather Alert.